This week on the Analog Circle podcast, Sony announced the newest episode of State of Play. Xbox has a patent for a Braille controller. We get more rumors about GTA 6. EA Access is coming to PlayStation 4. And Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 has 2 new confirmed characters. All of these stories and more in episode 99 of the Analog Circle podcast. I am your host, Keon Mitchell, and I must say, welcome to another episode. I'm so happy to be here, so happy to be back on track with the show, and I am just excited to get into these topics that we will be discussing this week. But before we get into the topics, I want to let you guys know one thing. If you're interested in listening to some previously recorded episodes of the podcast, you can go over on SoundCloud, you can go to Apple Podcasts, you can go over to Audio Mac, where else? Just everywhere. Even go over to N4G if you feel like it. Enjoy yourself, though. Enjoy yourself. But with that being said, guys, I want to get into the feedback section right away because I missed it last week with the, the bonus stage. I want to make a retraction on the bonus stage episode 2. I hadn't done one in about 3 years. I don't know where I came up with this year and a half. The podcast has been running for about 3 years now, coming this October. So, yeah, I definitely wanted to make a retraction on that. And the episode number was wrong as well. So I definitely apologize for that. But this week we're back with the regular show. And since I haven't really had a chance to get into any games over the week, I didn't get back into Days Gone. I didn't get back into Spider-Man. I just want to jump into the feedback section. And also, before I keep on saying we're going to jump into it, but I keep on saying, wait a minute. But I do want to say that because the summertime is coming up, being a truck driver, you know, my schedule does get a little haywire. It can get a little crazy. So I can tell you guys this, the episodes may not come out on Monday like this one. It's going to be coming out on Tuesday, but they will be coming out that following week. Somewhere in the week, it will be released. So I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there because the summertime, they start running the heck out of us. So with that being said, though, guys, I want to get into the feedback section. Now we're going to start it off with Mr. Cody Clark. This is actually an older email and I just saw it. So my apologies for this, Cody, but let's get into it. Now he says, do you remember the first game you beat? I'm wondering if we ever discussed this before or if you ever brought it up. I remember living in El Paso, waking up at 5 a.m. to watch Voltron on USA and then playing Bionic Commando from 5:30 to 6 a.m. before I left for school. I could never get very far in the game because I didn't bother to read the manual and had no idea how to get enough fuel to use the helicopter to get to the next stage. You ain't lying, brother. I didn't know that either. But he continues on to say, I did totally use the 30 lives code in Bad Dudes to get through that game and got good enough. I got good enough to where I didn't need it to beat it. So I think that was my first game that I beat, but I could be wrong. My brothers were so good at Bloody Wolf on the TurboGrafx 16 that they could beat it with a joystick and didn't need to use the gamepad. And then he puts in parentheses, I broke the gamepad because I am a hard big brother, but they started it. Listen, Cody, I love this email, brother. I really, really like this one. For me, The first game that I beat, Cody, I did talk about it actually in a Keon Vance episode. I had brought up the first game that I beat was Adventure on the Atari 2600. And that was, everybody knows that was a kind of a precursor to where Zelda kind of got some of its gameplay elements from, where you had to go in there and fight the dragon. That game is still absolutely, it looks like nothing nowadays, but in my heart, in my memory bank, that game is still awesome because it was the first game that ever made me feel like I was really on an adventure slaying a dragon. It was the first game that I knew of that had an ending to it on the Atari 2600 because those games just kept going and going and going. They never stopped. So that was just such a great game for me. And you know what, Cody? I did not even know that it was a 30-man code for Bad Dudes. I had that game back on the Nintendo Entertainment System. And I'm gonna tell you, that's another game, brother, that I saw in the arcade and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so daggone amazing. I can't wait to get this at home and play it. I went to Earl's. No, I didn't even go to Earl's Video. I got it for Christmas. I popped the game in and I said, what the heck is this? This looks nothing like the arcade version that I saw. What is this? And I played it. It was only one player. The ninjas would jump up on the truck and whatnot. The frame rate was horrible. But for some reason, I kept playing it and I got through it and beat it. Saved the president. Everything was great, man. But yeah, Adventure, that was my first game that I ever beat, brother. As far as Bionic Commando, brother, you are not by yourself. I never, ever beat that game. Even when the new remake came out a couple of years ago, back on the, I think it was the 360, I didn't beat that either. There was something about that doggone claw that made it so hard to beat that game, man. It was one of those crazy things. But anyway, Cody, this was an excellent email, man. I am truly grateful that you sent this to me. And, brother, please keep them coming. Matter of fact, you got another one here I got to read as well. But before I get to that one, Cody, I want to read off Mr. Binary Gray's email. Shout out to you, brother, man, for writing in again. Now, Mr. Binary Gray, I finally got his name right. I was calling the poor brother Ben angry. I was so messed up. But let me read this brother's email. Now, the title of his email is Magic 8 Ball. He says, my brother, I've got full faith in Phil Spencer putting Xbox gamers first. Look how much he has accomplished in his short time at the top. Things are going to be really good for us Emerald fanboys in the near future. With E3 coming, what would be a few of the games that would give you a Paris Lily Africa moment? Hey, man, shout out to Paris. That brother is amazing, man. Let me continue his email, though. He says, I myself would love to see a BioShock 4 trailer. Ooh. Or if you could reboot any dead franchise, what would it be? For me, it would have to be Shadowrun. My friends and I played that game religiously back in the day. He says, keep up the good work. Hope you're feeling better. Hey, brother, last time I recorded outside of the bonus stage, yeah, brother, my voice was toe up, brother. But yeah, I'm back, man. Thank you for this email, brother. Man, let me tell you something. BioShock 4, that would be incredible to have a trailer like that be shown. But, to answer your question, though, as far as like some of the franchises I would like to see make a comeback, like for me, a great E3. Now, this is just me dreaming the dream of dreams for E3 for Microsoft. But for me, I would love to see Jade Empire come back. That game was so good. I understand that was a BioWare game from years ago. BioWare is not the same company that they were back then, but Jade Empire, that would be fantastic. On top of that, sticking with the BioWare theme, a Knights of the Old Republic. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. If they could bring out another Knights of the Old Republic, that would be amazing. Now, I don't know if they'll be able to do that because Disney has these guidelines where they say that everything has to follow Star Wars lore right now. And we know that Knights of the Old Republic, when that was released, that wasn't quite following exact lore to what was going on in the Star Wars universe, which to me made it so amazing. I mean, the choices that you could make, it was just a game that I had never experienced. You know, I had never experienced something where your decisions actually made a difference in the game. And this is pre-Mass Effect. I mean, this was years before. So if they could bring out Knights of the Old Republic, that would be amazing, as well as Perfect Dark. I mean, we've been hearing rumors that she's supposed to be coming back, but nobody knows. But a Perfect Dark would be amazing. That would be excellent. And I would even say Conquer. People have been asking for Conquer as well. I remember, man, a couple of years ago when they were showing off their it wasn't the VR headset. It was I forgot the headset's name that Microsoft has been working on, but when they showed Conquer on there, people thought that, oh shucks, this might be a new Conquer game coming out, but it was just for demo purposes. So maybe a new Conquer. And even, I mean, we've been hearing rumors about it also, this title as well. Fable, a traditional Fable. If they could bring out one of those on the E3 stage, I would be happy. And then, you know, just to continue on with, you know, my dream E3, I shouldn't be talking about it because we're still early, but forget it. I just would love to see some new IPs, brother. If they could bring some new IPs on the stage. I understand that Ninja Theory is working on their game, but if you could show if Microsoft could show off two other brand new IPs that are AAA quality, man, I would be so stoked if they did that. So if they can do that, man, hey, Binary Gray, if they can rock out something like that, I think they would have an incredible E3, at least for me. But, man, thank you so much for the email. I really appreciate this, Binary Gray. I do apologize for getting your name wrong before, but we did have a conversation. So thank you so much, brother, and continue to write in, man. I absolutely love it. Now, moving into Mr. Cody Clark's other email. The name of this email, let me go ahead and find it. I'm so unprofessional here, guys. Okay, here it is. Now, the title of his next email is Games, and Some Games. He says, so plenty of people talk about how the Xbox One blew it and fell off the map, and how PlayStation 4 was king of kings with regards to games. Looking back at Generation Last, what was it about PS2 that had it be the most big bad system? What games made you say, I need this system? Did the OG Xbox not have comparable or better games? For Xbox 360 and PS3, what made the 360 the combo breaker that it was? What games made that system? What about the features? What made you think this is the system to have? Did the OG Xbox have better games than the competition? Did it have better games than the Xbox One? Did the 360 have better games than the PlayStation 3? Did it have better games than the Xbox One? Cody, I'll tell you something, brother. It's one thing about you, man. It's one thing about you. You keep me on my toes, brother. I mean, that was a lot to dissect, so I'm going to do my best to do this, man. All right. So as far as the PS2 goes, for me personally, the PlayStation 2 was better than the original Xbox, not because of graphics, because if you go back to the original Xbox and look at Splinter Cell back then with the shadows, it was no game at that time that was able to accomplish what Splinter Cell was able to do on the original Xbox. And then when you got it on the PlayStation 2, you could see all of the chinks in the armor with the PlayStation 2's version. So for me, what made me enjoy the PlayStation 2 more than the original Xbox was the PlayStation 2 just had better exclusives. I mean, you got to think about it, Cody. They had games like Metal Gear Solid 2. They had Grand Theft Auto 3, GTA 3. I mean, they had the DMC franchise, and they even had Final Fantasy. The Final Fantasy franchise didn't even go over to the 360. I mean, we all know this, but it didn't go over, to the Xbox side until the 360. So the PlayStation 2 era was just so amazing for the time frame that, it was just nothing they could do to combat that, in my opinion. Now, as far as the 360, the 360 was better than the PlayStation 3 to me, because it brought online to the console space in a big way. And I mean, we could always say that the original Xbox did this, but for some reason with the 360, it just popped. I mean, it popped extra hard, where the 360 was the place to go for online gaming. And on top of that, they just had great exclusives. Again, fantastic exclusives. Gears of War. They had Mass Effect. I mean, come on, Cody. They had Mass Effect exclusive to the console for a bit, and they even had BioShock. They had BioShock, which was another amazing game, and I hope what Binary Gray said is true. I hope they show a BioShock 4. That'd be amazing. But on top of that, if you remember, when GTA 4 came out on the 360, they had that exclusive DLC. What was it? The Ballad of Gay Tony and, I forgot the Bikers DLC's name, but they just were on a heck of a path. And they were just doing amazing work when it came to the 360. They were hungry. It seemed like they really wanted to win. So they were just locking these exclusives up, and they were big. Now, I've been rambling on this a long time. I do apologize, listeners. But, now, as far as the OG, though, the OG Xbox, and I'm going to wrap it up with this, Cody. The OG Xbox, it had good games in pockets, but to me, it didn't have as many great games as the 360 or the PlayStation 3, in my opinion. I mean, they had Halo, which was a game changer, and, Splinter Cell, that was exclusive for a bit, that showed off the graphical prowess, but it just didn't have those amazing experiences that you could only get on the Xbox. And I'm not saying they didn't have great games like Ninja Gaiden or Shenmue or Jet Grind Radio 2. Man, god dang, I forgot about that. That was hard. I love that game. But it just wasn't, they had great games in pockets. That's the best way I can say it. I don't think they had amazing games throughout the whole generation of the original Xbox. But I'm gonna have to wrap it up right here. Cody, I do apologize for making it short, but not short. But man, brother, I appreciate you sending me these emails. You and Binary Gray, thank you guys so much. And you, the listener out there, if you guys want to be a part of the conversation, you can always do it two different ways. Either call into the show at 443-216-9934, or you can email the show, and the email address is theanalogcirclepodcast@gmail.com. Well, with that being said, y'all, hey man, it's that time, baby. Oh, it is that time, because I want to get into the gaming news that went down. Here we go. Let's get into some, since we were already talking about GTA, let's go ahead and get into some rumored GTA 6 news. Now, according to a Reddit thread, the leak claims that the game will feature multiple cities, with the player starting in Liberty City as a small-time criminal and then eventually moving to Vice City. Now, you will also be tasked with looking after business in Liberty City and will eventually become a drug lord. Oh, bricks over bricks. Now, the game will also feature flashbacks in between missions, which is very interesting. Now, Stranger Dialogue, which was in Red Dead Redemption 2, will be coming to the game as well. Now, as far as the online component goes, it's being reported that Rockstar is working with both Sony and Microsoft to enable cloud gaming, as well as major content such as new towns. Also, now we all know that with a rumor, you always, like I say, you always have to take it with a mustard seed of hope. But to add a little possible truth to this rumor, a current Rockstar employee in his advice to management listed several sentences that spell out GTA 6 LSVC LC with their first letters. So those letters could be alluding once again to the locations in the game. Now, it was also being reported that the game has been in development since 2016. Now, I got to say, good gosh, wouldn't that be amazing to be able to go from the East Coast to the West Coast? Oh man, being able to go to Liberty City, all three major cities that, some of the best GTAs have taken place in. I mean, Los Santos, going to Liberty City, going to Vice City. Oh my gosh, I can only imagine what that would be like. Now, I don't know if they're going to have, the three characters come back, or if they're going to just concentrate the story on one character. I kind of want to see three more characters, or at least another character be able to be playable, because GTA 5, that just made the game so amazing to be able to switch between all three characters at any given time. So hopefully that will come back. But once again, we all know rumors, nothing is set in stone. So take it with a mustard seed of hope. But I truly, truly hope that some of these things, I wouldn't say some, I hope all of these things are true. Because when you look at it, Red Dead Redemption 2, that world was massive. I mean, it literally would take me 10, sometimes 15 real time minutes to get from one part of the map to the other part of the map. So, I mean, and also the fact that these are being built specifically for the PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox, whatever it's going to be called, that lets me know that this could be amazing. So I don't want to harp on it too much longer, but man, I can't wait to hear more news about this. But let's go ahead and move into some Star Wars news. Now, it has been confirmed that we will be getting our first look at gameplay for the upcoming Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order next month during EA's Play event, where the event's first 2 days will be full of live streams of upcoming EA games. Now, if you didn't know, this event will start on Friday, June 7th. I gotta say, now, for me, the last Star Wars game I have played, I haven't been excited for any of the Battlefronts because I'm not an online player like that. I like story-driven games. That's what I'm into. So the last Star Wars game that I got an amazing feeling over was The Force Unleashed. I mean, being able to, oh man, I'm just thinking about it. Being able to use the Force and pick the stormtroopers up and fling them across the screen. The physics was so great. They were so awesome. Being able to fling them into each other. I mean, the game was great. I know the second one, it didn't get a lot of praise because people said it was way too short. I understand that, but man, forget that. I had such an amazing time with The Force Unleashed. So I have hopes that Respawn will be able to give me that same kind of feeling and even make it, I forget the name of that Star Wars game from years ago, right before the generation started. It was a Star Wars game where it was supposed to be more adult themed, and it never came out for some reason, or it was a tech demo or something. I really hope that they make the game at least very similar to that type of Star Wars experience. So I'm really excited to see what this game is going to look like. It's going to be out, I believe, November 15th, so we won't have to wait too much longer, but my eyes will definitely be glued to see what EA shows. Now, on to the next story. Now, we're going to talk about Microsoft a little bit here. Now, Microsoft is clamping down on the trash talking on Xbox Live under the quote-unquote keep your content clean section. Now, Microsoft understands, they say they understand that multiplayer can result in trash talking between players, but quote unquote hate has no place in Xbox Live, and it won't be, end of quote, and it won't be acceptable. Now, if you are wondering what's acceptable trash talk, this includes, and I quote, get wrecked, serious potato aim. I don't even know what that means. Maybe stiff. Let's see, cheap win, and get good. Okay. Now, the trash talk that won't be accepted are sexual threats, profanities, and racial slurs. Now, if a player violates these community standards, it will lead to temporary Xbox Live account suspensions that may prohibit online multiplayer gaming, block communication, and restrict content sharing, among other things. Now, after that, if the player is a repeat offender, if he's a habitual offender, I loved when Charlie Murphy said that, he's a habitual line stepper. But, if that happens, he will have, it'll be, or has a severe offense. Let me get it together, y'all. Okay, that may result in permanent suspensions in which the owner of the account will be forced to forfeit all licenses for games and other content, gold membership time, and Microsoft account balances. So basically, it looks like if you get into any trouble, you lose it all. If you are a habitual line stepper, always crossing a line, you can expect to lose everything. If you even had some balances that were in your account over there on Xbox Live, it seems like you're going to lose that as well. So good gosh. How do I feel about this? I mean, you know what? I think that it's good. I think it's good that, Microsoft is trying to clean it up. I mean, I understand, sometimes the racial slurs, that's just so prevalent online, which is probably why I stopped playing too. I get tired of all of the nonsense. I understand. I love trash talking. Trust me. I love it. But like they said, when it kind of crosses over the line, it's like, golly, did you have to call me that because you lost? Really? I mean, good grief. But nonetheless, the only concern that I have about this, though, and this was actually mentioned on another podcast, so I can't take the credit for it. I believe it was, shout out to Crab Gamer, man. I like that guy. He was talking about it, and he said he doesn't know, how it would go if somebody gets mad at you, and how about they just lie on you and say, well, hey, he cursed me out. He said bad sexual things to me, and I was so offended and scared and nervous because he said these things. How is Microsoft going to know that those lies are not true and not ban you for something that you didn't do? So as long as Microsoft can make sure that doesn't happen, that they're able to keep a pulse, at least a monitor on the pulse of what's going on Xbox Live, then I don't think this is a bad thing. I mean, trash talking is great, but, let's just keep it, trash talking. I mean, you ain't even got to be fun about it. Hey, people are real sensitive nowadays. But still, I do think that, it should be at least, man, I hate regulations on this stuff, but just to kind of tone it down, I don't think it's anything wrong with that per se. It would be dope if Microsoft just kind of sectioned it off and said, this is an adult section, you can't be on this side, and just kind of regulated the kids to their own section. Because, after all, most people that are playing on Xbox and playing games, I'm not going to say kids aren't in there, but if it's an adult rated game like a Call of Duty or Battlefield or even GTA 5, what the heck are kids doing playing on it anyway? But anyway, I'm going on a heck of a rant. I don't want to do that because, man, I'm wasting y'all time. Let's move on to the next story, though. But let's get into some Sony news. Now, Sony has announced that the second State of Play will take place on May 9th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, there will be an extended look at Medieval and a first look, this is interesting, a first look at an undisclosed new title among that is going to be, it's going to have some updates and announcements surrounding other upcoming PlayStation 4 games. Now, it was also said that the live stream will last. Now, this is where I get a little concerned. They're saying it's going to last 10 minutes. I don't know. The last one I think was roughly about 20, maybe 20-ish kind of minutes. So 10 minutes. I don't know what you can show in 10 minutes if you're giving an extended look at one game. But nonetheless, Sony also said, and I quote, there won't be any updates relating to our next generation plans this time. End of quote. Now, if you want to catch this live stream, you'll be able to catch it on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Now, for me personally, I think, my personal opinion, I absolutely loved the first State of Play. It was clear, concise or precise and right to the point of what Sony was trying to say. It wasn't a whole lot of fluff. It was, this is what you get. This is what we got. End of story. Now, I got to tell you, the thing that I am most excited about when it comes to this show is this undisclosed new title that they are supposed to be showing. I don't know if this is going to be, because there was rumors going around a couple of weeks ago that Ratchet and Clank was supposed to be making one more round on the PlayStation 4. I'm going to tell you, I was never a Ratchet and Clank fan until I played the latest one on the PlayStation 4, and I absolutely loved the heck out of that game. Perfect game for me. 9.5, man, forget it. 10. I absolutely loved that game. That game was absolutely incredible. So, will that be the game that's shown? Probably not. But good grief. I can daydream about it. I can hope. I can wish. So, we'll see though. Nonetheless, it'll be really exciting to see what Sony shows. I can't wait for this show, and hopefully they show us something good. They were saying that, it was another rumor, what was it? The Last of Us 2 was going to be shown before E3. I don't know if The Last of Us is going to be in there. We'll see. It's all speculation at the moment outside of them showing off the Medieval remake. But it's interesting nonetheless, and I can't wait until they reveal what they're going to reveal. Now, let's move on to the next story. Oh, yeah. I do want to point this out. I actually wrote this down, but I'm not going to go over it. But because it was debunked. It was a rumor about the latest Assassin's Creed, where they had said that there was some leaked pictures or photos of this new Assassin's Creed that was going to be called Ragnarok. Good grief. We had heard rumors about this, when somebody had found a picture. in the Division 2, where it was supposed to be a picture of someone holding, I forget that thing that's in Assassin's Creed, but I mean, nonetheless, it was debunked. It sounded awesome though. They were saying that it was going to take place in Sweden and Finland, and you were going to be jumping on ships and jacking them and all kinds of stuff. You were going to be able to go to settlements and customize them. It was going to have RPG mechanics, but I mean, all of that got dismantled. But if you do want to check out the screenshots, even though they really don't mean much now, but you could go over to 4chan, or you could visit GameRant.com or ResetEra.com. But yeah, they had debunked it. But anyway, keeping on though with some Ubisoft news, it looks like on May 9th, good grief, the same day as State of Play, excuse me, I just belched, my bad, man. Ghost Recon will be unveiled. And this was announced via a tweet, which reads, and I quote, "Calling all ghosts. Tune into the hashtag Ghost Recon World Premiere event May 9th at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time." Love this. He says, love this tweet to watch the official announced trailer. It's going to be on May 9th. But for any Ghost Recon fans out there, I'm sure you guys are happy about this. This is, I'm sure, going to be awesome for you guys. I'm not really into Ghost Recon. The last Ghost Recon I tried was, I believe, the one on the 360, because it looked amazing. Oh my gosh, that game looked, I couldn't believe that a game could look that great. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't really like it that much, but I mean, the graphics were just gorgeous, but nonetheless, Ghost Recon, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. Check it out. I'm sure it's going to be great for the fans that love it. But moving on into something now, this is some very interesting Xbox news. Now, a new controller patent was discovered by a German site, Let's Go Digital. That's the name of the website, Let's Go Digital. Now, normally, I would say, here we go again. Microsoft with another controller. Oh my gosh, why y'all doing this to me? Jeez, me Christmas. But this controller is very different because the patent refers to it as a Braille controller. Now, the way it is described to work is it will have a Braille display consisting of both a dot matrix that mechanically reproduces the bumps which players can run their fingers over, and a set of swappable paddles allowing for both input and output. The paddles actually look like it looks like the Elite controller's paddles. They have 6 of them on the back. But let me continue. It says the 6 paddles correspond to the 6 dot positions on a Braille coded character, and a user may use them to chord or input text that way, or to receive text communications without moving their fingers off the paddles. Now, of course, the mechanisms also could be used to send haptic feedback of other types, like directional indicators or environmental effects like screen shake. Now this is the thing. We all know that, patents, just because something is patent doesn't mean that it's going to see the light of day. But I will say that Microsoft has introduced the adaptive controller, to the world, which is a remarkable thing. I think that is amazing that they have been able to bring that to market. That is a controller I could really get behind, because it makes gaming more accessible for everybody, for people that, may not be able to game anymore. I told you guys I had, my hand, it got messed up, and, I wasn't able to game like I was able to before that situation happened, with the palsy or whatever. But thankfully I was able to make a full recovery. Not everybody is so blessed and lucky, to have that happen. But, I think this is great. And on top of that, just to put it out there, why I think this may happen is because, hold on, let me get it together. The games, let me see, the U.S., they have to comply, the games industry, they have to comply with the 21st Century Communications and Video Accessibility Act, which means you have to include options that allow people with various disabilities to engage with them. So this one might see the light of day. I mean, this would be fantastic. I know Stevie Wonder was saying at one time he wanted to really experience these music games. You remember when the music genre was big, when Rock Band was out there, Guitar Hero, DJ Hero. I remember he got up on stage and said, man, I would love to really experience these, and hopefully, you guys can work on that. And I think this new law that they brought out, it's not really new. I think it dates back to, and don't quote me on it, but it's around like 2010. I think this was actually put into action, but the gaming industry said that they needed time. You got to give us time to really figure out a way to be able to incorporate this into the games. So hopefully Microsoft is doing that. I just think this is really, really cool. I mean, we know Microsoft, they want these 2 billion gamers by hook or by crook. But this time, if this does come true, I think this is excellent. So I really hope this comes to market. This would be fantastic. Go Microsoft on this one. This is dope. But let's move on to the next quick story. It's a very quick story. Now, in quick news, the original Devil May Cry is coming to the Nintendo Switch later this summer. So, yeah, buddy. Yeah, that's awesome. Now, let's move on. Now, back into some PlayStation news. EA, this is really good. This is great, because this was another rumor that we had heard about some time ago, but it is actually coming to fruition. EA has officially announced that EA Access will be coming to the PlayStation 4 platform this July. Now, as far as the cost of the service goes, looks like it's still in line with how much it costs on the Xbox. It's going to be $4.99 a month, or $29.99. I can't even talk. $29.99 a year. Now, it was also said that if you have a EA Access account on your Xbox One, you will still need to sign up on PlayStation 4 for a separate subscription. So, unfortunately, it's no rollover on this one, pal. You're going to have to go ahead and pony up the money. No pun intended, because it's on the PlayStation 4. But you're going to have to pony up the money to go ahead and get access to EA Access. No pun intended again. But this is awesome, man. I mean, I'm not a subscriber of EA Access. But the people that are, they say it's a great service, and I can only imagine, that it has to be. EA has a plethora of games. Madden is in there. I'm sure the NHL games are there, along with their other games that they have come out during the course of, the year, or, whenever they put them in there. But I do want to point this out, though. They did say that EA Access on the Xbox One does have backwards compatible games that actually work from, years ago. I think Dead Space is in there. Don't quote me on that, but I think that they're in there, along with others that were back from last generation. And they also said that because PlayStation 4 doesn't have that kind of backwards compatibility with their PS3 game log, that those games probably won't be coming over to the PlayStation 4. They also said that there is no list of what games will be coming to the console, to the PlayStation 4 version of the service. So we'll have to see, but nonetheless, July is coming up. This is great, and for the PlayStation fans that want to get it, you have access to it. Let's move on though, shall we? Into some quick news, some other quick news shots. Bow, bow, bow. Gearbox announced on Twitter, and I quote, "A new patch is rolling out for Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition on Xbox One today. This patch is adding 4K support to the game." Now I got to say, brothers, God dog it, man. I absolutely listen, people can fly or ride Ferguson. I forget the brother's name. Pitchford. Randy Pitchford. Brother, please, man, do me a favor. Bulletstorm, man, I know some people didn't like it. Some people thought it was repetitive. Whatever the case, I can only speak for me. I would love a sequel. I've been talking about this game ever since the podcast started. I'm just hoping. I'm trying to will it into existence, God dog it. I just want a sequel with them putting these 4K assets onto the game. The game is coming to the Switch later on this year. I'm just hoping that these guys get it together and just make a sequel. Now, I don't know if people can fly are going to be on the development team for this one. I don't know. I don't know if people may fly dismantled or not. It's something happened with them, but nonetheless, maybe some people left from the team that actually worked on on Bulletstorm. But nonetheless, the groundwork is there. Please make this a reality. At least I think it's Randy Pitchford. He's with Gearbox, right? Good grief. Man, anyway, moving on. Supposed to have been a quick hit. Moving on though. According to website Bleeding Cool, all that, oh man, good grief. All that, oh man, all that Game of Thrones and Xbox talk that we have heard, and some people speculating that it was a video game being worked on for Xbox. Man, well, it doesn't seem like that's the case. Instead, it's going to be a custom Xbox One where you will have to enter the contest for a chance to win. Now, I got to tell you something, brothers. I'm not even mad at the fact that it's a custom console and not a game. I mean, hey, this is what it is at the moment over at Microsoft. I believe that they're working hard. They're going to get it together. I really believe it. I mean, this E3, we will know for sure where they stand. But this, I have a bit of a gripe with Xbox. And I know some people think I've been down on the Xbox brand a lot lately. And yes, I have. But these consoles, these custom consoles, I can't stand them. The reason why I can't stand them is because I can't buy them. Man, they have had some of the best custom consoles ever. And Microsoft just won't sell them. They won't. I mean, people have been dying. It was some people out there that wanted a Sea of Thieves console. They've been asking for these custom consoles, and Microsoft just says, nah, you gotta enter a contest. Let me tell you how many of these consoles. Now, this isn't even the whole count, but the ones that I can remember that they have had that have been custom, and they have been some amazing looking consoles, were the Iron Man console, where it had the LED light that was supposed to be like the chest, the light in his chest. That console was so incredible. I would have bought it if it was 500, 600, 700. That was just an amazing console. They've had the Forza console. That looked great. It had a heck of a paint finish on it. Good gosh. They've had the Tomb Raider console. That console looked awesome. It had vines and all kinds of stuff on it. They had the Black Panther doggone console. I wanted that so bad, but you gotta keep entering these darn contests to win. It kills me. They had the Captain Marvel. I don't even know who Captain Marvel is, but the console was banging. They had the Jordan sneaker console, and then the newest console that I've seen, just remembering off the top of my mind, is a Godzilla console. That one I'm not really a big fan of. That one, I don't know. Might have dropped the ball on that one a little bit, Microsoft, but my point is, good gosh, can you please sell some of these? I mean, people are dying on the Xbox side for a custom console. These consoles look leaps and bounds better. And this is no fanboyism. It has nothing to do with it. But these consoles that Microsoft has had have looked so good. I mean, great, where the PlayStation consoles, they haven't been able to compare, but I give Sony a lot of credit because at least they are bringing out, or have brought out in the past, some custom consoles. So Microsoft, if you're listening, please try to sell some of these. Even if you make it something like, I don't know, how you can make your own custom controller or something like that. Make it so you can send your Xbox in and get some custom stuff on it. I might be going too far with that, but nonetheless, please, Microsoft, sell some custom consoles, god dog it, please. Moving on. God, I don't even know why I even went on a rant over that. That was so petty, but still, want some customs, man. Let's move on into some Sony VR news real quick. Let's see, is this even worth covering? Basically, I'm gonna sum it up. I'm gonna make it short. Sony, they had made this new patent for a VR it's not even a headset. It's something called posture control system, and it's gonna work. It's supposed to work with the PlayStation VR, and it's gonna basically make it so your body becomes, your full body becomes the controller. It's supposed to be some gyroscopic device that changes the direction of a user's body and display unit mounted on the user's head. Basically, this is some lawnmower stuff. This is like some straight up out of Lawnmower Man type deal right here. I mean, this thing, as I looked at the patent looks like, man, this is going to be for the arcade, brother. This looks like something that's not going to be able to fit in the average person's house. I darn sure can't get it in my house, god dog it. But nonetheless, it really looks cool, though. I mean, as far as how they were explaining it, how your body could be the full controller and you could just have an amazing immersive experience being, in the VR headset. And it's already been a patent out there where Sony is already working on a wireless headset. So, I mean, who knows? Sony they're always thinking. They're always thinking about new things. Once again, though, like I say, just because it's a patent, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but at least it can give us an idea of what could possibly be coming down the pike for the next generation of consoles. Let's move on from there, though. Now, this is just another quick news hit. Now, I didn't know this, but the Nintendo Switch exclusive Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is actually releasing on July 19th, 2019. And it was also confirmed that Hawkeye and Ms. Marvel will be in the game. And this came via Game Informer, who actually announced this. So, I mean, props to them. Ultimate Alliance, I did play the first one. I wasn't really a fan of the isometric type of view, that over-the-top view. Gameplay was cool. I mean, it was an okay game, but it was just the view that kind of threw me off. But props to Nintendo for getting an exclusive. I mean, good grief, a Marvel exclusive at that. I've been meaning to bring this up on the podcast for a minute, guys. I've been meaning to. Now we have Sony. They have Spider-Man. Basically, Nintendo, they got, the Avengers or the Ultimate Alliance, all of these different Marvel characters. Why can't Microsoft? Now, you know what? E3 is coming up. Hey, it's the time of dreams, brother. Shout out to Danny Pena, letting me dream, brother. E3 is coming. Getting back to, Binary Gray's, question as far as E3. You know what would really blow me away, brother? if they made an Incredible Hulk game exclusive to the Xbox console. I'm talking something like, what was it? Total Destruction or Destruction? I forget the name of the game, but the one on the original Xbox, Mass Destruction. I forget. I got the game downstairs. But that would be incredible. That game, I had so much fun with that Incredible Hulk game. One of the best at the time. I mean, you go back to it now, it's a little shallow. It's not nearly as good as these new superhero games that we've gotten. I mean, Batman, the Arkham series, amazing. And Spider-Man out here, just incredible. It can't compare to those, but at the time, that Hulk Mass Destruction, I think it was called. Oh my gosh. Gameplay was amazing. Graphics were incredible. The destruction was real. Oh my goodness. Microsoft, if you come out on stage with that, oh, you got a winner, brother. I mean, the Xbox is green. Hulk is green. Come on, man. Phil, come on, brother. Get out there and start working, baby. Get out there and contact Marvel and get something going, man. Shucks. Let's move on, no. It's just, what is this, man? Oh, yeah, we are at the final story. Now, in more Xbox news. Oh, man, this is interesting, too. According to a press release, new Xbox Live updates will go live for these Gameloft mobile games in the coming year, with more features and announcements to be made in the future. Now, it was also noted that this new Xbox Live support will allow players to unlock Xbox achievements, view their Xbox friends list, and compare their ranking with Xbox leaderboards and more. So the games are Asphalt 9 Legends, Asphalt 8 Airborne, and Dragon Mania Legends. Now, it was also said by Gameloft's COO, Bonduin Corman, that they are one of the first partners to support Xbox Live on mobile devices. Man, now this is interesting. It's interesting to me because Phil, he is showing everybody that Xbox Live is going everywhere, even mobile. We were talking about Nintendo Switch. Oh no, my brothers. He wants everything. So with this being the case, them having an achievement system, a leaderboard, being able to check your friends list, this is Xbox Live. I don't even know what to think of this. I guess this is just the new direction that Microsoft is going in. I mean, I don't even have a lot to add to this. I wish I did. I just thought it was interesting to see that Phil is definitely showing everybody this is happening. Whether you agree with it, whether you disagree, this is the new wave at Microsoft. So, I mean, these are not exclusives. It's just the service. And who knows? I mean, maybe Phil, when he was talking about this, Xbox being everywhere, I mean, I doubt it. I strongly doubt it. But this is just me being optimistic, just blindly optimistic. But maybe he was talking about Xbox Live in general, just being everywhere and not specifically the games, but I know that the games are good. I mean, they've already shown that Cuphead has gone to the Switch. They've shown that, Gears of War is going to the PC. All of the Halo games are going to the PC. I mean, we just don't know. But anyway, look, I've harped on this long enough. If you have any comments about this, you know how to get in contact with the show to tell me how you feel about this. But anyway, that is the end of the gaming news this week, but you guys stay tuned. Don't go anywhere because we will be right back after this week's Video Game Theater. Stay tuned, guys.
We both fight the same evil.
Why should I believe the word of a rebel and an assassin?
We are more alike than you think.
We have nothing in common!
Do not allow your friend to have died in vain!
Enough! Tell me why I should not kill you!
There are things worse than death, Knight. Much worse. And if it is mine you seek in your misguided quest, then so be it. My death is a worthy sacrifice.
Do you deny the attempt to kill Lord Hastings?
He deserves to die, along with every one of his collaborators.
And you expect us to just step aside while you carry out your campaign of terror?
Things are not as they seem. The company's secrets are well kept, even from the Order.
What secrets? I do not have time for games!
There is little I can say to sway your convictions. But there are things I can show you to give you the explanation you need. Your answers await at the company's docks in Blackwall Yard. But we must hurry.
You had better be right. For your own sake.
And welcome back, guys. Welcome back. This week's Video Game Theater, I forget to do this every single time, but this week's Video Game Theater has been brought to you courtesy of the Order 1886. That game was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. I thought it got a bit of a short end of the stick. It didn't do too well with reviews, but nonetheless, game was fantastic. I really hope that Sony gives that game another try. Really loved that game. But anyway, we are in the final section of the podcast, and this week, sticking with Sony games, I want to ask you guys this question for the week. Has Sony set the bar too high for their exclusives? Now, let me explain this just a little bit. Now, we know that Sony, not every single exclusive that Sony has brought out has been just a runaway success. We talked about the Order 1886. That wasn't one of those, but graphically, amazing game. But we've had, since that game has come out, we've had Uncharted 4. We've had Spider-Man. We've had Horizon Zero Dawn. We've had Detroit Become Human, Until Dawn. Those games might not be for everybody, but they were fantastic. God of War came out. My goodness, to me, possibly the game of the generation. Just absolutely amazing games. Even Ratchet and Clank, that game even scored high 8s. 9s. Some outlets gave it a perfect score, or 9.5. So with that kind of, those kind of games under your belt, when a game like Days Gone comes out and it gets a 72 on the Metacritic. Now, I will say this. I want to put this out there first. I don't think Metacritic is everything. I think that Metacritic is a nice gauge to go by, but if you're going to play a game and you are interested in a game, I don't think that it should sway your decision in any kind of way, but it can give you a gauge. Now, as far as Days Gone goes, the game, like I said, it hasn't come out to critical success at all. At a 72, people are saying that it's horrible, it's a bad game. GameSpot gave it a 5.5, which is absolutely ridiculous. That's very harsh. I don't think the game is that bad. Now, once again, these guys may have been playing a pre-patch version of Days Gone. Maybe all of the patches weren't included and the game got what it got. But nonetheless, I don't think the game is that bad. We know that people are harsh on 70 plus rated games anyway, but is it because Sony has just set the bar so high this generation that once a game is seen as a 72 by the masses, it is just horrible? Anyway, I would love to get you guys' opinions on this. You can either call in and let your voice be heard at 443-216-9934 if you want to chime in on this, or you can reach the show by email, and the email address is theanalogcirclepodcast@gmail.com. Guys, I have had a heck of a great time with you guys this evening or this afternoon or in the morning, whenever you're listening to this episode. It has been fantastic. I want to also let you guys know that there will be some more giveaways later on in the month, and the person, whoever you are out there, who claimed the PlayStation gift card, if you feel up to it, go ahead and call into the show or email the show. I would love to shout you out because I did see that somebody used the card. So shout out to you. But with that being said, guys, that is it for this week. But before we get out of here, we will definitely be back next week. But always remember this. It is not about the consoles. It is about the games. So until next week when we do it again, you guys take care. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.